So in the hospital, I was in so much pain. I was detached from social media, detached from everything. And I got on my phone only to realize the world was burning. But I had a little moment that kind of restored my faith in everything. And I thought it'd be a good little moment to share today on Sunday. As you guys know, I am the world's biggest extrovert. Like, the only good part of hospitals for me is that I get to meet so many new people. I love meeting new people. I meet new people every single day if I could. And one of my favorite people I met during this hospital stay was one of the chefs at the hospital. He was just super extroverted like me, so we clicked. I think we bonded over dark humored jokes. And then we started talking about musicals, and then he was talking about like recent adventures him and his husband had recently been on, growing up running a pizza restaurant on the Oregon coast, and doing drag shows when he was younger. And I was talking about just like adventures with my family and friends, funny things that had happened at church, and what it was like living in a town that has more cows than people. Just totally separate lives, right? And it was just funny. We just clicked. Some days he'd just come up, just even after his shift was done, and come talk to me and just make me laugh. And every time he left, I'm like, you know what? God's made some really awesome people. And then on his last day of work this week, he came up to say goodbye, and I was just in awful shape. I could barely keep my eyes open. I was so dizzy. I had so much pressure in my head. He just came up. He's like, oh no. And he just looks at me. He's like, I can tell you're not doing good. I'm really good at praying for people. Would you mind if I prayed for you? Can I pray for you? I promise I'm really good at praying for people. And tears just kind of pricked my eyes, and I'm just like, I would love it if you pray for me. And he just smiled. He's like, I'm going to be praying for you all weekend. And he's like, and then he told me, I'll be back on Monday, and I'll be stoked for me if you're still here and I still get to talk to you. But I'll be really sad for you if you're still here, because I don't want you to be here and still be sick. I'll be praying for you to get better. I want you to get better. And it was just the sweetest thing, because you hear so many stories of the separate situation, you know what I mean? But something about a former drag queen asking if they could pray for me really touched my heart. And it still really touched my heart, because so many people would view him as such a bad guy without even knowing him, you know what I mean? But God has made so many good people. We judge so many stories that we have never fully read. You know what I mean? God loves all of his children, and I'm so grateful that one of God's children showed his love by asking to pray for me when I highly doubted they were religious. And it made me view God's children in an entirely different way. I hope that makes sense, but it's a moment I'm going to remember the rest of my life. So I thought I'd share that with y'all. Anyway, I think right now the world is really trying to separate us all between red and blue, and between all these political, what is right, what is wrongs. But deep down, we're just people who need to love each other and pray for one another. And every time I think of this story, I'm going to remember that, and I hope you do too. Smiling.